Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden genius of life that can't move. The silent, absolutely incredible world of plants, algae, and fungi. Okay, so let's just jump right in with a big question. We usually think of innovation and success as things that involve action, hunting, running, exploring. But what if some of the greatest, most creative problem solvers on our planet are literally rooted to the spot? I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. From the freezing Arctic tundra to the deepest parts of the ocean, these organisms are everywhere. They thrive. They can't run from danger, they can't go searching for a meal, but their success is just undeniable. So how in the world did they pull it off? Through pure, silent, brilliant innovation. So in this explainer, we're going to explore how three completely different kingdoms of life all solved the same fundamental problems: how to eat, how to survive in a tough world, and how to reproduce, all without ever taking a single step. So who are these quiet innovators? Well, first you've got the plants. They're the ultimate self-starters, literally building themselves out of light and air. Then you have their ancestors, the algae, the pioneers who figured out this whole food-making process in the water millions of years ago. And then you have the fungi. They're the great recyclers, getting all their energy by absorbing it from others. Three totally different strategies for living a stationary life. Let's start with the biggest, most basic problem of all. How do you get food when you're stuck in one place? I mean, if you can't go to the food, either the food has to come to you, or you have to figure out how to make it yourself. And this is the revolutionary solution that was pioneered by ancient algae and then perfected by plants. It's called photosynthesis. And honestly, it's a kind of biological magic. It's the process of turning the air and the light around them into pure energy. They literally eat sunlight. How cool is that? And the process itself is just stunningly elegant. A special pigment called chlorophyll grabs onto sunlight. That solar energy then splits water molecules, which releases the very oxygen that we're breathing right now. The plant then grabs carbon dioxide out of the air and boom, it combines everything to make sugar. That's its food. It is probably the most important chemical reaction on Earth, and it's happening silently right now in every green leaf. But what if you live somewhere with really poor soil, where the ingredients for that magic trick are hard to come by? Well, some plants evolved a much more aggressive solution. Just look at the Venus flytrap. This plant doesn't wait around for nutrients. No way. It actually tempts insects with a sweet nectar, and the moment an unsuspecting bug touches its tiny trigger hairs, the plant instantly becomes an active predator. Its leafy jaws snap shut, and it completely flips the script on the animal kingdom. And get this, that trap slams shut in just 1/5 of a second. For an organism with no muscles and no nerves, that is an absolutely incredible feat of biological engineering. Fungi, on the other hand, took a completely different path. They aren't producers, they aren't hunters, they are the planet's great decomposers. You could call them the masters of external digestion. They secrete these powerful enzymes into their surroundings, breaking down things like a fallen tree or a dead animal, and then they just absorb the nutrients. They are quite literally the planet's cleanup crew. Okay, so they solved the food problem, but the next great hurdle was massive, leaving the relative comfort of the water. For the ancient algae that would eventually become plants, moving onto land was like an astronaut stepping onto a hostile alien planet for the very first time. And the challenges were just immense. Out in the open air, you're constantly at risk of drying out. Gravity, which didn't matter much in the water, is suddenly this constant crushing force. And all those vital nutrients, they're no longer just floating all around you. Now they're locked away deep in the soil. So the very first innovation was an absolute game changer, a waxy, waterproof coating called a cuticle. This super thin layer acted like a personal wetsuit, holding all that precious moisture in and keeping the plant from dehydrating under the hot sun. Next up, to fight against gravity, plants developed rigid, woody tissues that let them grow up towards the light. And at the same time, they sent roots digging down into the ground to anchor themselves. But they didn't do it alone. Early on, plants formed this crucial partnership with fungi, creating a vast underground superhighway to pull in water and minerals way more efficiently. And just how successful were these adaptations? Well, look no further than the giant sequoia. Some of these trees stand over 360 feet tall. That's taller than a 30-story building. all thanks to those strong woody structures and that ancient, powerful plant-fungi alliance. Okay, so you can eat, and you can stand up on your own. But there's still one more critical, mind-bending problem to solve. How on earth do you reproduce when you can't even move to find a partner? Now, the earliest organisms, like fungi and mosses, they used spores. These are tiny, single-celled particles they just release into the wind. It was a numbers game, really. Make millions and just hope a few get lucky. But the seed? The seed was a true upgrade. It's like a complete survival kit for a baby plant. It has a multicellular embryo, its own packed lunch, all wrapped up in a tough protective coat. You can see this whole brilliant strategy play out with something as simple as a common poppy. The seed just waits, sometimes for years, for the perfect conditions. Then it germinates, the plant grows, it develops flowers to attract help for the next stage, and finally the mature plant scatters its own brand new seeds to start that whole cycle over again. And this might be the most clever hack of them all. Plants couldn't move, right? So they just outsourced the job. Flowers evolved to be these beautiful, fragrant advertisements, offering up sweet nectar as a reward to any insect or bird that would, in exchange, carry their pollen from one flower to the next. It is an absolutely brilliant collaboration. But here's the thing. These weren't just clever survival tricks. The solutions these quiet organisms developed for themselves ended up fundamentally changing our entire planet. I mean, their success led to this incredible explosion of diversity. Today, there are over 300,000 known species of plants alone, each one with its own unique set of incredible adaptations. And our modern world? It is literally built on their success. Just think about wood. We humans use 4 billion tons of it every single year for everything from building houses to making paper. We rely on fungi for life-saving medicines like penicillin. We're exploring algae for everything from biofuels to food. Their innovations are our foundations. So these silent innovators, they literally terraformed our world. They created the very air we breathe, the soil under our feet, the conditions for all other life, including us, to even exist. They don't communicate with sounds. They communicate through their very existence. And the question is, are we paying attention?